Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on WDBJ7 Plus. We begin with breaking news this morning where the Virginia Supreme Court has just struck down the Democratic redistricting amendment voted on over 2 weeks ago. The court ruled that the state's Democratic-led legislature violated procedural requirements when it placed the constitutional amendment on the ballot to authorize the mid-decade redistricting. Now, voters narrowly approved the amendment on April 21st, but the court's ruling renders the results of that vote. Now, stay with us on air and online as we continue to keep you updated on that breaking news. And you may have also heard about this one. School systems in our hometowns have alerted families after a data breach connected with the online learning platform Canvas. Last night, the platform went dark. Now, hackers threatened to release data unless schools negotiate a settlement with them by Tuesday. Virginia Tech was supposed to start its final exams today, but those tests have now been moved to Sunday. I know actually my brother, I spoke to him this morning, and he was supposed to have an exam today, and it's been moved also to Sunday. So I know people have mixed feelings about that. And meanwhile, Roanoke and Botetourt counties both sent emails alerting parents and teachers that their data may have also been breached. And since late September, Roanoke has been paying $6,000 a month to lobbying firms trying to bring state lawmakers around the idea of a casino. So while the anonymous casino operator covered much of that cost, as Colby Johnson tells us, so far the firm doesn't appear to have changed any minds. Our local legislators are still unanimously against the idea.
There's a lot of things we can do in the Roanoke Valley to help economic development that doesn't come from casinos in the region. I don't know that is a great move for our valley.
Area lawmakers say they've been approached by the city's casino lobbyists, but they haven't been moved by those conversations.
I would fight that with every fiber of my being. That would be catastrophically bad for everybody in the valley, and they are out of their minds if they think they're going to get that. The idea of a casino in Roanoke is the most abhorrent thing I have heard proposed at all.
The legislators on both sides who represent the city also remain opposed to the idea of a casino. However, both Democrat Sam Rasool and Republican Joe McNamara say they're open to the wider idea of an entertainment district. Rasool says he thinks upgrading the Berglund Center could help it bring in more money.
Ensuring that we have top-notch facilities can bring in some of the best types of entertainers and acts. I think that there's certainly more that can be done there, and people are excited about those opportunities.
Meanwhile, McNamara says the changing nature of entertainment has made the Coliseum model almost obsolete. He says the city needs to find ways to bring in more revenue through tourism.
Anything we're going to do from an entertainment perspective has to capitalize on our strengths. Our strengths are our friendly people, our great location, within an hour's drive or within 8 hours drive of much of the half of the United States, and our natural beauty that we have.
The only legislator I spoke to who wasn't an outright no on the casino was 37th District Delegate Terry Austin. He said he has no opinion on the issue because he doesn't represent the city. However, he says the city needs to secure the support of its own representatives if the idea is to move forward.
And that was Colby Johnson reporting there. Roanoke County leaders are considering safety upgrades along a busy stretch of plantation roads after concerns of pedestrian infrastructure and crashes. So Tanisha Jackson has more on the proposed changes and how the community is reacting.
Imagine having no choice but to ride your wheelchair into oncoming traffic. That's what Annie Moore says she deals with almost every day just to reach the gas station.
And I have to fight this traffic when I get up here to go near the parking lot because we have no sidewalk. And we had a sidewalk, we wouldn't have to worry about getting hit by a car the way they fly around that corner.
Moore lives in Edinburgh Square, a retirement community near the intersection of Plantation Road and Hirschberger Road. And she's not the only one calling it dangerous.
Living in a senior community, we're very trapped in some ways by the current setup. There's no safe way to walk.
The Plantation Road and Hirschberger Road here in Roanoke County was identified in multiple studies by both VDOT and Roanoke County as having unsafe conditions that are a good candidate for future road improvements.
It's one reason why Roanoke County is looking to make changes along Plantation Road between Hirschberger Road and Hollins Road.
The entrances of Walmart, Neighborhood Market, and Food Lion, there's been a lot of wrecks in between those, so we're kind of looking at some stuff there. There are some of the only transit stops that are in Roanoke County that are there at the Walmart and the Food Lion, so we're looking at ways to connect those stops a little bit better to make it easier for transit riders to navigate the area on foot.
The county shared its plans at a community meeting Thursday night. Proposed changes include sidewalks, transit stop upgrades, and intersection improvements.
I think this is really needed, and the improved bus stops will help too.
And I really like the no left turns coming out of the Walmart and the Food Line, because that's where the accidents are happening.
Roanoke County is applying for funding through Virginia's Smart Skill program, with a decision expected in early 2027. In Roanoke County, Tanisha Jackson, WDBJ7.
And over in Blacksburg, after 123 years of printing the Collegiate Times, the student-run paper is now going digital. So our very own Austin Hicks tells us why the student leaders think now's the time to make the switch.
For the last 123 years, the Collegiate Times has been a staple in Blacksburg. You can expect an issue every week, but as of Tuesday, the last one has been sent out.
It just seemed like not only the sustainable, but reasonable decision to move fully digital.
Getting the Collegiate Times in the mailbox was a guarantee for more than a century. But as more readers started reaching for their phones instead of the paper, the publication decided it was time to go fully digital.
We're meeting our readers where they are, and a lot of our readers are college-age students, alumni, parents of writers, and going digitally is just expanding the ways that we can reach them.
The move marks the next chapter for the historic outlet, and former writers and readers are already feeling the impact.
We've had people reach out and they wanted to get like a photo or, you know, a piece of like a story that they were in from like 83 or 2003. And so that was really great to connect with some alum.
One of those alums is Blacksburg Mayor Michael Stutzman, who served as editor-in-chief in 2005. He says his time at the Collegiate Times helped put him on the path to public service.
I went to Blacksburg Town Council meetings. That was my first exposure to the Blacksburg Town Council, and then later I was elected to the Blacksburg Town Council. So it really like introduced me to life in Blacksburg in a way that I wouldn't have known just as a Virginia Tech student otherwise.
So what's next for the publication?
We're starting a new website host platform, and so that means that the user experience for our audience will be amazing. You know, we're really reaching students where they are with that. And then we're also expanding so much more with our social media.
The print paper lasted 123 years. Now, the Collegiate Times is betting its digital future will carry that same legacy forward for the next 123. In Blacksburg, Austin Hicks, WDBJ7.
All right, sounds like a strategic move for them there. Well, in health news, researchers are now saying eating eggs can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Plus, there's new research that challenges what we've always known causes strokes. Amir Massenberg has that and more in today's Hometown Health.
Here are your Hometown Health headlines. An egg a day may keep Alzheimer's disease at bay. A study out of Loma Linda University Health found that people over 65 years old who eat one egg a day for at least 5 days a week could reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's by up to 27%. Researchers note that eggs contain nutrients that support brain health and memory function. Plus, a new study is challenging long-held beliefs about what causes the common stroke. Scientists at the University of Edinburgh have found that enlargement and widening of the arteries in the brain is strongly linked to lacunar stroke, which accounts for a quarter of all ischemic strokes, not the buildup of fatty deposits in the arteries. Researchers say the findings could help explain why taking aspirin and other antiplatelet drugs are not as effective with preventing lacunar strokes. And there's more evidence that people who limit eating ultra-processed foods have a lower risk for heart disease. Research published in the European Heart Journal found that adults with diets high in ultra-processed foods have up to a 19% higher risk of developing heart disease and up to a 65% increased risk of cardiovascular death compared to people with diets very low in ultra-processed foods. For your Hometown Health, I'm Amir Massenberg.
Well, I have got to start eating more eggs. All right, don't go anywhere, because coming up after this quick break, we are going to take a look at your First Alert hometown weather forecast. Our chief meteorologist, Justin Pavic, is going to join us to talk about, what we can expect coming up for our Mother's Day weekend. And then even later in the show, we are going to talk about a mobile museum that is coming through our hometowns and is going to come to one of our local middle schools where anyone can come check out the VA250 mobile museum on wheels. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. I'm now joined by our chief meteorologist, Justin Pavic. Justin, how are you doing today?
Hey, doing great. It's Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
Yes.
The weekend is basically here. Do you have any weekend plans?
Yeah, I'm going to get outside. Of course, Mother's Day. My wife loves the outdoors. We want to treat her, so I'm sure we'll find some good food and probably be hanging out with some friends as well. How about you?
Right, yeah, same here. Sunday, going to my grandma's house, gonna eat some lunch with mom, and yeah, just celebrate her, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, how is the weather looking? I've been thinking a lot about, we've seen a little bit of rain. Has that helped us at all with the drought that we've been experiencing?
It's pressed pause here in some spots in Michaela. Other areas, south side, eastern counties, and not faring so well. The rainfall amounts have been really, really low and meager, and we've actually seen the drought increase there in intensity and also in aerial coverage. So last week on the left, this week on the right, the biggest difference being our southern and eastern counties with that level 4 tier drought extreme category. And that's something you do not see that often at all around here any time of the year. In fact, this would be the most we've seen since, I think we're going all the way back to 2007. So it's been a long time. We've doubled the extreme drought here statewide now. Again, really over the course of the last week or so. And look at some of the lake levels. These have really dropped down. For instance, this is Smith Mountain Lake here, and you're looking at normal pond, full capacity right around 795 feet. We're down about 5 feet from that right now. But also notice the record lowest at 788. So we're not exactly too far away from that. I know conditions toward Claytor Lake, some of those levels have been lower, and even out toward Carvin's Cove, we've seen some lower levels recently as well. Rainfall amounts here down for the month, down for the year now on the order of 5.5 to even 6.5 inches around Danville, and those numbers would go even higher if you were to go back a few more months into last fall. It's been a long time since we've seen an inch of rain or an inch liquid equivalent, meaning, yeah, we're also going back into the winter time months, so an inch of liquid would be 10 inches of snow, but look at that, 117 days in Blacksburg since we've seen a soaking rain in one day at Danville. 82 days, and it looks like we're not going to see that much rain really anytime soon. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon, though, in your hometown. Check out the views, lots of sunshine. Temperatures currently into the low to mid 60s. We'd love to see some beautiful pictures from you as well. You can submit those and send those our way by uploading them to the website there, WDBJ7.com, or right through the app. Numbers, like I said, starting to work their way up right now. We were off to a chilly start, even had some frost over the West Virginia mountains, but we're in the 60s now. I think we're going to knock this weather forecast out of the park this afternoon. Low 70s, really not a cloud in the sky. Chilly here this evening and tonight, definitely enough for the jacket, but no concerns for gardeners, as I think those temperatures will stay up into the 40s. We work our way through the weekend. Here's where we're looking at a front working its way in from the west, but very meager amounts of moisture out ahead of that. Really nothing more than, say, a spotty shower over the West Virginia mountains Saturday. And then on Sunday, front approaches, but still, most of that moisture stays to our south, so nothing more than a passing shower Sunday night into Monday. Some hometown events coming up here. We've got a big race going on in Covington. That's got a lot of elevation change there. The big Mountain East Women's Softball Championship going on. Again, that's in Salem as we work our way throughout today and again on Saturday. And then this was a big band back in the 90s, I think, Everclear, right? They're in concert here later on this evening at Riverfront Park in Lynchburg. Again, notice those numbers in the 70s. This is what I do not like to see. Very low rain amounts over the next 5 to 7 days. I think some spots here are pretty much going to stay on the dry side. Here's that First Alert Super 7-day forecast. Cooler next week as well. Monday's highs in the 60s. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right around 70 degrees. I think there could be a few showers on Wednesday, but definitely not looking like a washout at this point. And then what you do not see, but we are looking at down the road, Michaela, is so much warmer air slated to move in Friday and also into next weekend. I think some hometowns at that point could get back into the 80s, and it's been a while since we've really experienced that warmth. Much of April was like that, but hasn't been like that so far this month.
I know, right? I've been waiting on it. You know, where are the 80s at? I need to see
it's out
it,
there.
but, you know, at least looks like Sunday, the high 80 right there. So that'll be nice to see. Good pool weather, you know, take mom to the pool or
there you go.
Somewhere just outdoors, I think would be really
get that
really
fresh
cool.
air.
So, yes, that's awesome. But, yeah, we really do need to see just like a downpour.
Right.
You know, I don't want to see, you know, severe storms or anything, but we need one good rainy day to really help us with this drought here. But who knows? I'm sure it'll
be
come
watching.
For us. Yeah,
hopefully sooner than later.
Yes, for sure. All right, thank you, Justin, and thank y'all for staying with us. But don't go anywhere. After this quick break, we are going to talk about a really cool mobile museum that's coming to one of our hometowns. It's in celebration of America's 250th birthday, and so they are going to be showing off a lot of history there. So you don't want to miss it. Stay with us. Welcome back to WDBJ7 Plus. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm now joined by Erin Smith. She is the program coordinator for VA250. Erin, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So as we know, it is America's 250th birthday coming up this year. And so VA250 is really doing a lot to kind of promote that. And y'all are actually bringing like a mobile museum to Franklin County, to one of the schools in the area. So kind of just talk a little bit about that and what people can expect from that.
So our mobile museum is our big picture idea for this year. We actually have two. Our mobile museums are the way that we're telling Virginia's role in the revolution. And it's our way of highlighting all of the different people and communities within the Commonwealth in this historical narrative of 250. So our museum is super special because when we visit each area, we're highlighting people who are often left out of the story. So women, people of color, Native Americans, and then residents of rural and small town communities, which we're super excited to highlight in places like Franklin County, especially with the school systems.
Right. Yes. Y'all are going to Benjamin Franklin Middle School on Saturday. And so is that open to everyone, or do you need to register? How does that work?
So on Friday, we are only open to the school systems and we will be there most of the day. But on Saturday, you do not need a ticket. You do not need a reservation. You can show up anytime from 9 to 5 on Saturday and we will take you through the museum.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and that is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Benjamin Franklin Middle School. So that's really exciting. That's happening on Saturday. And so we actually have a video too to show the inside of it. And so what can people expect, when they enter inside the mobile museum? What are they going to be able to see there?
You can see your own story, and that's kind of our big idea. We want to make sure you feel represented. You can see everything from Patrick Henry's "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death" speech to some of the stories from our smaller local areas. Even my hometown has its own history, and it's represented in the museum.
Wow, wonderful. And yeah, I love that. I love how, there's a wide variety. It's not just one topic. And so just talk about the importance of showcasing something like this, to kids and also adults, during this time and, giving them this opportunity.
So for the big 250 celebration, we want to highlight not just the Declaration, but also the war and then the U.S. Constitution and where that leaves us today. Especially with school groups, we tried to focus on civic engagement and what that means for us as citizens and how it's led us to this big moment in time and where we can go from here.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. And super exciting stuff. I know people are really excited about the big birthday coming up on July 4th. And so how did y'all decide what elements to put into the mobile museum?
So there were board members a little bit before I stepped into the picture that kind of decided what they wanted to see, and they created essentially a timeline for the museum. So when you step into the museum, the first room is going to be pre-revolutionary. It's the people and ideas that lead us into the war. And then the second room runs everything from the Virginia Declaration of Rights to today. And that's a lot of information in a small space, but it is all about Virginia. So it is tailored to and made for Virginians by Virginians.
Right. Yeah. I love how that's kind of like you're time traveling a little bit and going, from history to present. So that's really cool. And is there an age range, or is this really open for even the youngest to the oldest?
There is something for everyone in the museum. The little kids tend to really like our hologram of Patrick Henry, but there's something for everyone. It's a mix between old world museums and new world museums where we have a lot of technology. You can take a citizenship test. There's a lot of interactive screens, but there's also a lot of reading and videos. So there is something for every age group.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very exciting stuff. And do you know how many schools y'all are going to with this mobile museum, or are you also are you doing other places too besides schools, or is it strictly for the schools?
No, so we go to all sorts of community events, but our big goal this year and in the next few years is to make sure we go to every single middle school in the Commonwealth. So every single school system will have a chance to see this mobile museum because we really want to focus and highlight civic engagement for students.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. So, how long do you think is that through the rest of the year you hope to go to every school, or will this continue into next year? Like, how long do you think that's going to take?
I would love to say that we would get through all the middle schools by 2026, but there are a lot of school systems in Virginia.
Right.
So our goal right now is to try to get to as many through 2027 and have them done by the end of 2027. That's being optimistic, but we have until 2031 to celebrate the full span of the revolution, and we will go as quickly as possible, but we want to make sure we don't miss anyone.
Right. Yes, for sure. Well, that's awesome. So, how many do y'all do per week or per month?
It depends because we are still doing community events, especially this year with the 250th. So it's kind of an intermix of public events and school events. So I would say we do 2 to 3 a week if we can, but it depends how long we are somewhere. And we have 2 trailers, so I have 2 museums. So we have a lot more give than we did last year, but it really just depends.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm sure that the kids out in Franklin County and, anywhere across the Commonwealth are excited when they find out and their teachers tell them that it's coming to their school, because I remember any kind of extracurricular outside of the classroom was always exciting and fun, but educational too. So it's really great what y'all are doing.
Well, we are so happy and thankful to be a part of this just movement for the big 250th. We hope that for some students that this inspires them to go into history. For some, this might be the only museum that they get to see, and I want to make sure that it is a wonderful experience and that they remember it for the rest of their lives.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure they will. That's incredible. And I did want to show also the website if you're interested in learning more. If you want to donate, shop, anything Virginia 250, you can go over here. It's Virginia or VA250.org. You can go over and check that out. They've got a lot of cool things over on that website. And so, Erin, was there anything else you wanted to add at all that I may have forgot to touch on?
No, I just want to say we're so thankful for the support from our communities, and we want to make sure that everyone has the chance to come out and see us. So if you don't know when we're going to be in your area, there's going to be a list of stops on our website that you can check out. If you happen to miss us, don't worry, we'll probably be back to your community very soon, and we hope to see you at the museum.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, so definitely want to check out that website. Again, it's va250.org, and they will be at Benjamin Franklin Middle School on Saturday from 9 to 5 p.m. Admission is free, so y'all definitely go check that out. Erin, thank you so much for joining us here on WDBJ7 Plus. And for those watching, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this quick break. Thanks for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus. I hope you're having a good Friday so far. As we know, Mother's Day weekend is here, and beyond the cards, flowers, and brunches, our very own Kimberly McBroom has some last-minute ideas for your mom in this week's Hometown Entertainment.
This weekend, it's all about the moms, and there are lots of Mother's Day deals and promotions in our hometowns, including this one in Lynchburg. On Sunday, Aqua Zoo at River Ridge Mall will offer moms free admission plus a complimentary craft activity. Give mom a much-needed day off at Kids Square Children's Museum in downtown Roanoke. One adult gets free entry per family, and the event is happening from 1 to 5 p.m. on Mother's Day. Or how about treating your mom to some great live music? The Mother's Day Weekend R&B Jam Fest is happening Saturday from 4:30 to 9:30 p.m. at Elmwood Park in Roanoke. Now, this event is largely sold out, but you can still find some Phase 4 and VIP tickets. If your mom's taste veers more towards Broadway, you can take her to see Tony Award winner Kelly O'Hara. She's performing Saturday night at 7:30 at Virginia Tech's Moss Arts Center. Tickets start at $40 each. Students with ID and teens 18 and under get in for $10. If your mom loves a good laugh, an evening with Larry the Cable Guy might be the perfect gift. He's performing Saturday night at 7:30 at the Salem Civic Center. Available tickets start at around $43 each. For a blend of laughter and tears, treat your mom to a night of live theater as Showtimer's Community Theater presents The Tin Woman, running now through May 17th. Ticket prices range from $13.50 to $19.50. And as always, we posted links to tickets to all these events on our website. If you'd like us to spotlight something in your hometown, send an email to hometownentertainment@WDBJ7.com. I'm Kimberly McBroom with this week's Hometown Entertainment.
All right, so lots of options out there for the moms this weekend. There is no excuse anymore not to take her somewhere or just get her a little something. You know, I think most moms just really care about quality time over everything. But yeah, that is a look at our show for this Friday morning. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for staying with us today. As always, we will be back here on Monday and every weekday at 11 a.m. for a look at your top local headlines here on WDBJ7 Plus, your weather, exclusive interviews, and yeah, just also let us know what you'd like to see. You know, send us a message on Facebook. You can send us an email at news@WDBJ7.com. And yeah, we are open to suggestions. We are just constantly building this new WDBJ7 Plus platform. And also we do have coming up at 1:30, and that's every weekday, we have our First Alert Hometown Weather Show, where our meteorologists just do a deeper dive and take a deeper look into the weather and the forecast and trends and some cool stories too. They've been doing a lot of interviews with, you know, local forecasters and people from all over the region and country too, just talking about major weather events. And then we also have our Hometown Sports Huddle every weekday at 6:30 p.m. where the guys just get together and talk sports, and it's pretty cool. They do a lot of exclusive interviews and have conversations over there too. And as a reminder, you can watch all of this on our website, WDBJ7.com, under the WDBJ7 Plus tab. But if it's a live show, that's under the live streams tab. And then also on your smart TV, on your Roku device, on your phone, you can go to our app and watch us anytime, anywhere. These streams are also on demand for you. So yeah, lots of great content here. We also stream our traditional newscasts. So definitely stay tuned. Coming up in about 20 minutes, you've got 12 o'clock, our 12 o'clock newscast coming up with, you know, they're going to have your top stories, breaking news, national news, and things like that. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for staying with us here on WDBJ7 Plus, and I will see y'all back here at 11 a.m. on Monday. Thanks for watching.